7:15 on this February 25th. Welcome to microphone number 2, Dr. Charles Osgood. You need a bigger truck.
Yeah, it's small.
That dinky little thing, my goodness.
Well, it's projects. You know, me and my kid, we love working on cars, and we
I tell you what, I want to borrow that. Next time I go to
and
St. Louis, I'll just stand on the roof. That way I can look over the arch.
the monster trucks. You know, I can't take it through the automatic car wash. I was like, darn, it's a few inches too tall. So yeah. Well, it's one of the things me and my kid love. We just love having fun with doing little projects at home, and that was just one of them we decided to pick up. And
I ought to drag my 57 New Yorker out, let you work on it a while.
Yeah,
you're gonna keep working on it.
With it. Yeah. The old ones we haven't done a whole lot with, but we usually just work on the modern, the new stuff that maybe has a problem with the engine or something like that. Yeah. And so we work on them.
Hey, real quick, I want to announce for tomorrow, candidate for Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, Dan Kemp, will be here.
Oh, hey, cool.
Yeah, he's going to be here after This Week in Real Estate. After we do the show, we're going down to Old Time. We've got a table reserved down there for a small meet and greet with who could be the Chief Justice of the Arkansas Supreme Court. So here's this opportunity to...
That'd be fun.
You're welcome to stop by the studio and listen to the interview or tune in on the radio or computer, whatever. But
awesome.
Dan Kemp, candidate for Chief Justice, Arkansas Supreme Court, will be here tomorrow.
Yeah. I read that Donald Trump is going to be in Bentonville on Saturday.
Yeah.
At the airport. I wonder how many people can fit into the airport to watch Donald Trump.
That airport will shock you. Have you flown out of there?
Yeah, I've been through there.
I flew to Vegas. I like it. I'd rather go there than Little Rock.
I would too. It's an easier place to get in and out of. So.
Man, I tell you what, got right in, landed in Denver, transferred planes, went into Vegas.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I love going to XNA.
Yeah. So
it's gonna be fun.
If you're a Trump fan,
get to Bentonville.
Get to Bentonville. But I thought we'd talk knees today because we've talked about jaws and we've talked about shoulders and we've talked about elbows. There's just about every joint in the body that can be affected with chiropractic care. Mm-hmm. And you've been, on the receiving end of chiropractic for knees, and we helped you a little bit there too.
I had tendonitis back in 12 or 13 in that right knee,
and
I literally crawled in your office one day.
Yep.
I mean, you literally had to open the door.
And you were walking out, so.
I was walking out.
And knees can misalign just like the bones of the spine can misalign, and they can cause nerve pressure, and they can cause muscles to tense up and tighten up, and you get pain across the knee, the back of the knee.
So what do we do that makes our knees hurt?
A lot of time.
Is it lack of exercise?
With knees, it's really improper usage, it seems like. Yeah. Like too much planting and twisting. Like you're standing there with your knees locked and then you twist. That's probably the hardest thing on the knees.
To think about.
Yeah, and that's where you end up doing things like tearing your meniscus, the cushion or the cartilage in between the joints. But I've had people call for, coming in and seeing me for just simple knee pain where we just need to adjust them and that fixes them right up. I've also had people call for things that are a little bit more work, like there's a condition called Osgood-Slaughter's disease. Mm-hmm. It happens to have my name, but it has nothing to do with me. But it's a condition where there's an inflammation in the tendon that holds the kneecap in place. And it usually happens in younger people because of, the growth plates, and it's usually during the growing phase. And it can be pretty darn painful. And it's something that we can work with too, because what we use there is we use things like ultrasound therapy, help speed the healing in the tendons and the areas where the tendons connect, and adjusting those areas.
So I'm thinking here, athletics, the golf swing.
Yeah.
You come back, if you're right-handed, you swing, you put the pressure on that right
twist.
knee. Twist.
It's the twist. It's the planning and twisting that you really get a big problem with.
Carpenters up and down a ladder every day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what about these guys? I know a lot of guys that do dirt work, excavation work, and you may slip off a rock in the mud, you could twist, and there's all kinds of scenarios here.
And people who are crawling underneath houses for a living, I'll tell you what, a lot of knee troubles there, because when you and tile layers, I've seen a lot of people laying tile. because you're on your knees all the time, and it's really damaging to the structure of the knee. So but it can be adjusted. And sometimes adjusting isn't enough. We have to use things like I just talked about, ultrasound therapy. It's really, really good therapy for the knee joint, because what it does is it's designed to actually penetrate with deep sound waves where the tendons connect to the bones. And that's usually where most of the tearing or the pain occurs, is where that connection is, where it connects to the bone. And that's where the least amount of blood supply is, actually. There's very little blood supply to tendons, and that's why it takes months for a pull of a tendon to heal up, because it just takes forever to get that blood supply. And so what ultrasound therapy does is it speeds up the blood flow through that area. And so it can really help to heal things like scar tissue and break up scar tissue so that it'll heal correctly.
Well, Doc, we hear so much now of knee replacement surgery.
Yeah. And
some folks are in on Wednesday, out on Friday, and then they go back for some rehab. Can some of this be avoided through chiropractic?
Yeah, we have been able to save some folks from having to, do knee replacements. And there are some folks, obviously, where they're so far gone that you can't do anything with them, because they're just bone on bone, and they've been grinding on those bones for years that way, and they're wearing away their knee joint. There's some that are just that far gone. But for those who are just starting to have problems, if you can get the knee adjusted and then get that function improved, you're going to improve the mechanics of the joint. You're going to have the fluids moving in and out of the joint like you're supposed to, because a joint dies when fluids stop moving like they should through the joint. Joint death occurs.
Just like automotive. If I fail to grease the ball joint, it dries up.
Joint death occurs when you have a improper motion in that joint, and you have it for years, and then that's when you lose the fluid moving through there, you lose the lubrication, and then you start getting death of the cartilage and things like that.
So, like when you're working on your truck or your restoration projects, you're out there in that garage floor, can you imagine 10, 15, 20 years on that garage floor? It's concrete, it's cold. What kind of damage does that do? And can you get some general maintenance on the knees as a garage man?
Yeah. There's any activity where you're having to either be on your knees or you're having to get in weird positions like underneath cars and things like that, you're going to twist and lock. You can lock those knee joints into a place where they shouldn't be, and then it starts hurting every time you take a step. And a lot of folks, when we adjust them, we actually hear and feel an audible click when we adjust that knee.
Well, that's happened to me. I've turned a month or so ago, I turned and pop. Wow.
Yeah. And then you get up and the knee moves like it's supposed to. And
so it sort of, did it pop back in place or readjust itself?
Yeah. When you heard that pop, that just means we got the knee joint to get back into its proper motion and its range of motion, and it's moving like it's supposed to now. So it happens very frequently with folks. They just come in and say, "Hey, I know you're working on my back, but my knee's been bugging me." So we, adjust that knee, and they get up off the table. And, wow, I can step on it. I can stand on it, and it works like it's supposed to now. So it's
inactivity.
Yeah,
let's say
over the winter time or whatever.
There's not much to do. You may be watching a little bit more TV than what you should, not getting out and just sitting. I'll sit and watch the news.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness, I'm stiff as a 2x4,
right.
Especially in the knees.
Get up and you can't stand up. Yeah.
Sarah's over here laughing.
It's the inactivity. It'll kill you. And so that's what happens with people. And then they get out in the springtime and they start going all out where they haven't had that activity. And you can actually tear things. You can actually damage, ligaments, tendons, muscles, micro tears in the muscles. And then you do damage to where you've locked something up and you can't move like you're supposed to. And that's when they come to see me typically. So,
for people that have questions, they can go to the website, mountainhomechiro.com, and you've got a place where they can ask some questions.
Ask questions. You can send me an email there's plenty of info there. There's info on all the things we're talking about, knee joints, hip joints, any joint in the body that can be adjusted is something that we work with. So if you don't find answers to your questions there, send me an email. There's a link to send me an email, and I get those emails directly to my box. And you can ask me whatever. If you're not sure chiropractic can help, which there's not too many cases where chiropractic can't help, but if you're not sure, or you've been to see a chiropractor in the past and you hadn't had a good experience, or, those things happen, and just send me an email and ask me a question about your situation, and I love getting those in the inbox. It's fun to be able to talk to folks about it.
Let me tell you what, knee pain is not fun. Let me tell you.
No.
And, we've got a lot of basketball players.
A lot of athletes that suffer from knee problems.
You grab that rebound, come back down that gym floor and turn.
Twist, yeah.
Twist that knee. Oh, hurts to think about.
Yeah, and that's when you do the most damage, is when you lock the knee and you twist on it. So that's something that you got to try to avoid, especially when you're out working in the yard and things like that. Just avoid that twisting, that planting the leg and twisting the knee. Pick up your feet. Pick up your feet and move them, and that's the way you really need to do it.
No shuffling, right?
No shuffling.
So is knee pain, it's really not captive to any age group? No.
Anybody can injure the knee, and he can have issues that way. So, but if you're suffering with it and you've been, maybe you've gone a physical therapy route, and you've had to, have some physical therapy done, and it's helped, but now it's back. The chances are there's some problems with the tracking of that knee and how it's supposed to move in its range of motion, and we should be able to help with that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Knee pain is not fun.
No. And like I said, athletes have a big issue with that.
Football, basketball.
Yeah. Because there's so much pressure on every joint in the body when it comes to the activity that you're doing. So if you're overstressing it,
knee pain that could affect the hip.
Yeah.
Could that cause? I'm trying to think.
Lower back
and ankles, especially, would have to be adjusted.
If you have any joint down in the lower part of the body that's affected, you're going to favor that leg, and then you're going to start hurting in the lower back. You're going to start throwing things out of balance, basically. You've got everything out of balance, the muscles functioning out of balance.
So everything adds up to this. Call Doc Osgood at 425-4424. Visit him at 640 Highway 62 East, right?
Exactly. Don't just put up with it. Don't hope it will go away, because when you're hoping that it'll go away, you're going to create further issues.
And popping pills only covers the pain. It doesn't fix it.
Right. Like I said, if you've got this knee that's been hurting you, you're going to favor it, then you're going to do damage somewhere else. Complete alignment means making sure all the joints are working like they should. So don't just put it off, because it won't just go away on its own.
Final minute.
Just call us at 425-4424. That's our phone number. We're right across the street from Affordable Insurance, and it's Centennial Bank. I think I said Liberty the last time I was in.
Oh, did you?
Forget what they change so fast.
Yes.
Seems like. And don't just put up with it. That's my main thing. Is
get it fixed.
It's only $37 to come in and have us evaluated. We'll take X-rays. We'll do nerve scans. I believe X-rays are the best way to evaluate an issue. Knee-wise, lower back-wise, what we'll do is find out just what's going on so that we can see if there's any damage in there. And it's just $37. Don't put it off.
Well, Doc Osgood's helped me many times, and he can help you. Don't put up with the pain. Don't pop the pills. Call 425-4424.
There you go.
Helped me many times. Helped my boys and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And they still come in. Well, one of them still comes in.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah.
Brings us up to news time. Coming up, we're going to visit with local former Mountain Home student Sarah Dodd, motivational speaker and life coach. Stick around. Be right back.